The world was a very different place in the early 20th century. It was a time of great empires and powerful nations. Sadly, it was also a time of deep resentment and simmering anger. Many countries felt the sting of World War I. Germany in particular was forced to shoulder much of the blame and faced harsh punishments. This bred resentment and instability. Adding fuel to the fire were economic woes. The Great Depression gripped the world in the 1930s. Jobs disappeared and people struggled. In these desperate times, extreme ideologies took root. In Germany, a charismatic leader named Adolf Hitler rose to power, promising to restore German pride and might. Hitler's Nazi party preached a dangerous ideology of hate, blaming Jews and other minorities for Germany's problems. They promoted the idea of German superiority, seeking to expand their territory and influence. Other nations like Japan and Italy also harbored expansionist ambitions. These factors, combined with a failure of diplomacy and appeasement, created a powder keg ready to explode. The world watched with bated breath as Hitler grew bolder. He rebuilt Germany's military, defying the Treaty of Versailles. He annexed Austria in 1938, a move met with little resistance. Then his sights turned to Czechoslovakia. On September 1, 1939, German forces invaded Poland. This act of aggression shattered the fragile peace. Great Britain and France, bound by treaties to protect Poland, declared war on Germany 2 days later. World War II had begun. The world descended into a global conflict unlike any before. On one side stood the Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan. On the other side were the Allies, initially comprised mainly of Great Britain, France, and the British Commonwealth. The early years of the war saw a series of stunning Axis victories. Poland fell quickly. Denmark, Norway, the Netherlands, Belgium, and France soon followed. By the summer of 1940, Germany occupied much of Western Europe. Great Britain, under the inspiring leadership of Prime Minister Winston Churchill, stood alone against the Nazi onslaught. So the tide began to turn in 1941. On December 7th, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, bringing the United States into the war. The Soviet Union, already at war with Germany since June 1941, joined the Allied cause. The world was now locked in a titanic struggle between the Allied and Axis powers. The war raged on for several more years, with countless acts of bravery and sacrifice on both sides. Finally, in 1945, the Allies prevailed. Germany surrendered in May, followed by Japan in August after the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. World War II left an indelible mark on history. It was a conflict of unprecedented scale and destruction, claiming the lives of tens of millions of people. In the aftermath, the world grappled with the horrors of the Holocaust, the genocide perpetrated by Nazi Germany against Jews and other minorities. Yet from the ashes of war, a new world order emerged. The United Nations was formed to prevent future conflicts and promote international cooperation.